Your initial plan, because I watched one of your interviews. You said Yo Gotti found you because, like you said, you were doing your lay mixes, your covers of already popular songs. So when you hit the gram with it, was that your like idea? Somebody's gonna find me, I'm gonna get signed?
So actually, I was in college for nursing. So I started off in college, wanted to be a nurse, but that's when I started to post the videos and started to get love. I feel like I was just doing what I love to do.
Nobody saw this coming. Not like this. For months, everything around Angela Simmons looked calm, almost picture perfect. She was glowing, smiling in public, moving like a woman who had finally found peace after years of ups and downs in love. And right beside her stood Yo Gotti, the same man who had chased her for years, the same man who once spoke her name in songs, like she was some kind of dream he couldn't reach. It felt like a full circle moment. Fans believed this was real, something solid, something built on patience and persistence. But here's the twist. Just when people thought their story had settled into something steady, a storm started brewing behind the scenes. At first, it was whispers, small rumors floating through social media. Nothing too loud, nothing too serious. But then, out of nowhere, GloRilla stepped into the spotlight and dropped a revelation that shook everything. And suddenly, Angela wasn't smiling anymore. She was crying.
He came to my event.
We saw he gave you some flowers.
Yeah, they were really nice.
So y'all not together in it?
No.
He shot his shot though.
He's a nice guy, and I'm flattered by everything.
Because according to what's being said, GloRilla might be carrying Yo Gotti's child. Now the internet is in chaos. Fans are picking sides, and what once looked like a love story has turned into a messy, emotional situation that nobody can ignore. To understand why this moment hits so hard, you have to go back to the beginning, way before the tears, before the rumors, before everything fell apart.
Station?
Yeah.
I asked that because I watched the interview, one of your interviews too. You said you once DM'd Yo Gotti as one of the people you were like,
yeah,
and that he eventually, opened it once he found your music. So speak on that a little bit.
I actually DM'd him and I DM'd Jermaine Dupri. I definitely manifested and prayed.
Angela Simmons has always lived her life in the public eye. Being the daughter of a legend like Rev Run meant she grew up with cameras around her, with people watching her every move, judging every decision. But even with all that pressure, she built her own identity, strong, independent, and determined to create something real for herself. When it came to love, though, things were never simple. She went through heartbreak that played out in front of the world. Relationships that looked promising ended in disappointment. And one of the hardest moments she faced was losing the father of her child, a tragedy that changed her life forever. That kind of pain doesn't just disappear, it stays with you, shaping how you see people, how you trust, how you love. So when Yo Gotti kept showing interest in her over the years, people paid attention, but Angela didn't immediately fall into it. Back in 2015, Gotti made it very clear he had a thing for her. He didn't hide it. He put it in his music, said her name out loud, and let the whole world know how he felt. At first, it seemed one-sided. Angela kept her distance, maybe unsure, maybe cautious. And honestly, who could blame her? Gotti had a reputation. He was known for his lifestyle, his connections, his complicated personal life. He wasn't exactly the type you'd call safe. But he didn't stop. Year after year, he stayed consistent, always circling back, always making it known that Angela was the one he wanted. And eventually, something shifted. After years of missed timing and separate lives, Angela finally gave him a chance. And when she did, it felt different. She spoke about him with respect, even admiration. She described him as inspiring, as someone who understood her world. Fans were shocked, but also excited. It felt like a story that had been building for years finally reached its moment.
Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family.
How would you do that?
Ain't no time to cry, man. We gotta get the money. Hey, look, ain't no time to be crying. We gotta.
For a while, everything seemed genuine. They showed up together, supported each other, and gave off the kind of energy that made people believe this wasn't just another celebrity fling. This was supposed to be real. But what nobody expected was how quickly things could unravel, because while Angela was building something with Gotti, there were already whispers about other women, quiet rumors about side relationships that never fully went away. And one name that kept coming up was GloRilla. At first, it didn't seem serious. GloRilla was rising fast in the industry, making a name for herself, becoming one of the most talked about female rappers. Her connection to Gotti looked professional. Label ties, collaborations, business moves. But people started noticing little things. The way he supported her, the way he showed up, the way their interactions felt just a little too close. Still, nothing was confirmed. It was all speculation. Until now. Because when GloRilla reportedly confirmed that she was pregnant and hinted that Yo Gotti could be the father, everything exploded. Suddenly, those quiet rumors weren't so quiet anymore. They became headlines, they became debates, they became a public spectacle that Angela couldn't escape. Imagine being in her position, after everything she's been through, after finally opening her heart again, after trusting someone who spent years proving he wanted her. This happens. And not behind closed doors, not privately, but in front of the entire world. People started analyzing her reactions, her posts, her silence. And then came the moment that really hit everyone. Angela breaking down, visibly emotional, unable to hide the pain anymore. Because this wasn't just gossip, this felt like betrayal. And what made it even worse was the timing. This wasn't something from the past suddenly resurfacing. This was happening while she was still emotionally invested, still connected, still believing in what they had. And then there's GloRilla's side of it all. Some people believe she's telling her truth. Others think there's more to the story. But either way, her confirmation added fuel to a fire that was already burning. Because if it's true, it changes everything. It means Gotti wasn't just being unfaithful. It means he built a whole separate situation while claiming to be committed to Angela. And that kind of betrayal cuts deep. Fans quickly split into different camps. Some blamed Gotti, saying this is exactly why Angela should have stayed away. Others pointed fingers at GloRilla, accusing her of stepping into something she knew about. And then there were those who just felt sorry for Angela, watching her go through yet another painful chapter in her love life. But here's where things get even more complicated, because this situation isn't just about cheating, it's about trust. It's about the years Gotti spent convincing the world and Angela that she was different, that she was the one. It's about the image he built, only for it to fall apart in the most public way possible. And for Angela, it's not just heartbreak, it's humiliation. It's having to process pain while millions of people watch, comment, and judge. That kind of pressure can break anyone. You can see it in her eyes, in the way she carries herself now compared to before. The confidence is still there, but there's a weight behind it, a sadness that wasn't there before. Because deep down, this probably feels like history repeating itself. Another relationship that didn't turn out the way she hoped. Another moment where she has to pick herself up and keep going. And that's what makes this story hit so hard. It's not just about celebrity drama. It's about a woman who gave love another chance, only to be hurt again. But at the same time, this could be a turning point, because sometimes situations like this force you to see things clearly, to realize what you deserve and what you don't. Angela has always shown strength, even in her lowest moments. She's faced loss, heartbreak, and public scrutiny, and she's still standing. So the real question now is, what happens next? Does she walk away completely? Does she try to understand, to forgive, to rebuild? Or does this mark the final chapter in her story with Yo Gotti? As for Gotti, this situation could change how people see him forever, because it's one thing to chase someone for years, but it's another to finally have them and still risk losing everything. And GloRilla? She's now at the center of a narrative that goes beyond music. Whether she intended it or not, she's part of a situation that has real emotional consequences. In the end, this isn't just about who's right or wrong. It's about choices. It's about consequences. And it's about how quickly something beautiful can turn into something painful. Because just a short time ago, this looked like a love story years in the making. Now, it feels like a lesson, a reminder that not every long chase leads to a happy ending. And sometimes, the person who waited the longest ends up hurting the most. So what do you think really happened behind the scenes? And more importantly, do you think Angela will ever trust Yo Gotti again after this?